The eternal now that you experience in the present moment is the culmination of all the time that has elapsed since the beginning. Everything that has happened so far has happened so that, and it has happened in a way that allows this current moment to be the way it is, exactly the way it is. If anything that has happened in the past had been different, this moment would be different. It is the way it is as the end point of all that has happened. And this moment is also the seed of all that is to come. So it contains within it eternity, from time immemorial all the way to into the future is contained in this moment. And this moment is actually really all there is. So keep bringing yourself back to this moment, to this here, to this now, which is all there is. And in this moment, no matter what the circumstances of life are, in this moment there is only joy. In this moment there is only peace. Every isolated moment is only an expression of peace, of love, of truth, which is what you're experiencing right now. Great. So so what has been your experiences with our Insta meditation? How to bring that to this? Bring that to this. That is the only question that we have to ask and respond from that. So this, how to bring that to this, is sort of a condensed or concentrated, it's a concentrated form and contains within it is contained the entire understanding about oneness, about the direct path, about universal consciousness, and about its role within our lives and how it can impact our lives. So yeah, what are some experiences that you guys have been having with applying this in your life, with using it as and when you remember? What happens? Do you find any shift, any change, any whatever? What is your experience? Sanjay, you have been using this? Are you there? I don't know if he's able to unmute. Maybe he's not able to unmute. He can unmute.
Sanjivji,
Huh.
I would like to say something not about the Insta meditation, but the forgiveness practice which you did the other day.
Okay.
So, about that Indriya part which you covered, that the creatures with a certain limited Indriyas and then bigger, 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 bigger than. And that like struck that the more the Indriyas, the more the feeling. And the Indriyas are giving the feeling. So, how we have to be very sensitive to every smallest creature to the highest. And that was a big revelation for me within when I was doing the
Okay.
forgiveness practice. And that forgiveness practice sort of took me to a very different level. It was very beautiful. It's not that
Okay.
I'm doing forgiveness practice for quite some time now, but this forgiveness practice was
Yeah.
really a very deeper one, on a
Right.
very conscious level, very deeper one. And
Right.
I
Right.
wanted
Right.
to thank you for that.
Wonderful.
And I
Yeah.
kept
Welcome.
on
Yeah.
I kept on thinking like when I'm going to collect the flowers, I was, oh God, am I stamping on the grass? Am I harming any creature? Am I?
Exactly.
It brings you
Exactly.
to that level
Exactly.
of sensitivity.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my goodness. That is exactly. And I was sharing earlier about my experiences spending time with Jain monks. So staying with them, living among them. Uh, in the Jain uh, tradition, there is something called a temporary monkhood, sort of temporary monkhood, where for a day or for a week or for a month or whatever you decide, you can live among the monks as a monk. So I've spent time like that, living with them as a monk. So you leave all your city clothes behind and you wear the white of the monk, that the simple clothes that they wear. You eat what they eat. You stay with them. All the whole day is spent the way they spend their day. So, and you're among them and you're living just like a student monk, if you will, with them as a monk. So when I did that with 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 them during that time, the level of sensitivity is beyond what you can even understand from what we did. So this is a great opening, this great opening into understanding, hey, there's life in different forms. uh, we are surrounded by it. We are all of life with the smallest and uh, the ekindriya life, and everything at least if it has shape and form, one indriya is always present. So everything that is there in this universe is life, has life, is made of life. It may not have the same way and shape and form that you and I have, but it is all life. And so the sensitivity extends to objects, to things. When they use water, for example, water is also considered life. It has a life. It's not a dead inanimate object. It is a living entity, and therefore you treat it with the same love and respect that you treat a person or animals or whatever. And you're so careful and sensitized not to harm it in any way. So I remember I think I may have shared this story earlier. I remember we were walking from one temple to another, to the place where we were going to sleep. And after a certain time of the sunset, you don't even drink water after that. So we had to reach the place and have some water, and then we would be ready to go to sleep. So we were in a bit of a rush to get back to the ashram so that we could have a cup of water. Of course, we were fasting, so there was no food or anything, but at least that cup of water we would drink, consume, and then go to sleep, or pray and meditate and then go to sleep. But we were in a bit of a rush. So as we were walking, it started drizzling, just a slight drizzle, and Parangat, he took me under, because as a monk not get into a car or an airplane or anything. You just walk is the only allowed way, because that is the least damaging to the environment and to other life forms. So we were walking barefoot. And why barefoot? Because barefoot, you are much more sensitive to the ground. You know what you're walking on. And whereas with a shoe, you don't know what you touch, what you just, you're buffered from the earth. So we're walking barefoot, and he took me under this bus stop and said, we have to wait till the rain goes away. And I'm like, why? It's just a drizzle. This is very slight, hardly any. We won't get wet, it's okay. So I was thinking he was trying to protect us from getting wet, which is a normal way a person would be going under a shade when it rains. You don't want to get wet. But it wasn't about that. It was about that the water that's falling down, the rainwater, is cool water. That cool water, if it lands on you, you are a warm, hot body compared to that. The water may be at maybe 18 or something degrees, and the body is at a much higher temperature. So if that water came in contact with the body, then that water would experience pain, would be hurt, would be killed. So you don't want the water to fall on your body, and that is why you don't allow the rain to fall on you. Not because you're trying to protect your body or your clothes or you're not getting wet. That's not the reason to go under there. And and so we were waiting under the bus stop shade, and it's just slight drizzle. You could hardly make out. And here I'm thinking, now I don't know if we'll reach in time to have the water or not. We may have to go to sleep without drinking water and be thirsty and all that. So we are not conscious. So I just put my hand out to just see if it's still raining. I put my hand out outside the bus stop, and he immediately took my hand back. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that we are trying to." Yeah, so yeah, when you put your hand out, what's happening? The water is falling on your hand. Let the water fall where it falls. You don't become the what they have a word called nimit. You don't become the medium, the madhyam through which uh, uh, touch it. Just look. If it stops raining, we will. But Sahib, what about the what about the water that we are supposed to drink? We may not reach in time if you are going to wait here for a long time. He said, "Well, that's what it is. Then that's what it is. If we don't drink it, it's okay. It's okay if we don't drink water one night and we are thirsty. It's fine." So few minutes went by, and I'm fretting and fuming, whatever, and eventually the rain stopped, and so we quickly made it back, and surprisingly we we made it on time, and we had that one glass of water and then continued. But point is this ultra sensitivity to life, this to not harming any living creature in any way, expanding the definition of what is a living creature. And science and the environmental scientists and all will come to this same conclusion, that we need to conserve water, we need to treat life with respect, all life forms. But they are coming at it from a different reason, that hey, if we don't take care of the environment, we are going to get into trouble eventually. But oneness and the connectedness with life takes you to that place directly and immediately, that this is all me, this is all me, how can I hurt it, how can I not be careful, how can I not minimize my impact on the on things around me. It's natural. And when we do that, the conservation and the environment, of course, are automatically taken care of, because so the that way of living automatically makes for a sustainable life and makes the planet, uh, conserves the beauty of this planet. So no matter where we come at it from, we will eventually have to come to this oneness. We will have to eventually recognize that each and every life form, each and everything, each and every object, everything is important. So are you guys able to hear me? The videos are all frozen. I'm
Yes, we
wondering
can.
if.
At times you are buffering a little, but
Oh,
now it's perfect.
થોડું ડિસ્ટર્બન્સ ક્યારેક આવે,
okay.
બંધ થઈ જાય છે, પણ આવે છે ખરો અવાજ.
Okay, but the videos are all frozen. You guys are in time. Ta-da! Okay, a little bit. So,
So, don't you feel like,
so it's all a matter of,
so
yeah,
Sanjivji, like maybe people felt great after going through that Saturday, which we did. I felt pressurized that there is so much I have to do. मुझे तो अगला जन्म भी कम पड़ेगा, like to learn
yeah,
all.
Same, I found
correct,
it difficult.
correct, wonderful. Right, right. No, so whether how do you use that information or that feeling or that's, it's wonderful either way. So you either feel relieved that okay, I've understood something which I can use and I can become more sensitive, like Jennifer ji was saying, to all life, whether you're walking on grass or you're trampling flowers or you're trampling a bug. And uh, so that's a sensitive and a beautiful way to live. The other is the opposite end of it, is like what you're feeling, which is, oh my god, there's so much, how am I ever going to get there, to a place where I can be that free from all of this actions and thoughts and words which hurt other people or myself. So so we can use that, use that as energy, use that as energy to propel yourself in the direction that you have to go, that you want to go, that you see is your way anyway. So that thought and that energy, Anamika, can be used in two ways. One is you throw up your hands and say, oh my god, I'm never going to get there, forget about it. And that's also okay. And the other is, let me not waste a single moment in triviality. Let me not waste a single moment not being aware of who I am, what am I here for. Even this lifetime may not be enough. Even multiple lifetimes may not be enough. So let me not waste a single moment. Right? So,
And also somewhere we
so I
do
would
have to
encourage you to
start.
use it in this way, in the second way.
Sonal has a question.
So can I?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. On the chat window, let me see.
To speak.
Isn't it difficult to change suddenly? I don't know. It's,
Sir, I have a question which I wrote in the chat. Can you hear me,
yeah.
sir?
Yeah.
So, sir, when it came to ants, spiders, and cockroaches, we say suppose, we usually
Yeah.
we did not follow the Jain rule till now, and suddenly this thing has come. Like on Saturday, we took a vow. So I got a
Right.
fear. I started having a fear that as soon as we see anything, we try to protect ourselves
Correct.
from these animals. We just start off with by putting our, say suppose hit maar diya ya fir naphthalene balls dal diya. So then that protection and that vow came in between. So I could not understand if I've taken a vow, how can I go ahead with all this?
Right.
That question
Right.
came
Exactly.
again.
Good.
Suddenly,
Good.
suddenly,
Very good. Very good. Ye manthan. This is called churning. Samudra manthan. You heard of it? No.
yeah, I've
अमृत वो
heard.
चर्निंग होता है तभी निकलता है. So this churning is dvida, this questioning is wonderful.
It is
That
going
is what it
against the
is.
vow.
I know exactly. So now use the insta meditation. How do you bring that to this? How to bring that to this? Tell me, what is the response? What is the way?
Sir,
Is
I don't know.
my internet? What is
It's fine.
it? It's fine. Okay.
So the other day,
Um.
can
Yeah.
I? So the other day I
Yeah.
had gone
Sure.
to my cousin's house and I saw these inverted polythene bags, plastic transparent bags in which water was put, and the cone part of the bag, like the sapa and the cone part of the bag going downwards, and it's tied at the balconies. So I said, in a beautiful hall like that, and where the windows are, why are these bags tied? So that keeps the bees away and all the flies away. This is a giant way of doing it. That is what they told me. So I'm sure there's
Is it?
always a way to keep away the flies and the ants and the cockroaches in a similar way. Like there are these, the sound waves which does don't let these things come. So that I'm sure there is something if we look for.
Right. 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 So there are levels and levels
Sir,
of awareness and consciousness.
I
Yeah.
called up
Go
my
ahead.
Jain friends and asked them how do they manage.
Right.
And
So what did they say?
they started laughing on me कि suddenly तेरे को change करने का है. तो सर ने ऐसा क्या wow दे दिया तेरे को.
Correct. Correct. No. So change. Transformation and change is an instant. At the end of the day, it is an instant. I mean, the process may be gradual. The process is gradual, but transformation is instantaneous. It happens in a moment. It may take a lifetime for you to get to that point, but the actual event is an instant. The change is sudden. The change is immediate. The change is instantaneous. So so there are level and levels of consciousness, Sonal, in this. So so yes, I mean, we want to protect our bodies, no doubt. We are not saying that, put yourself in harm's way and get bitten or whatever. But when but there are alternatives, right? So depending on your level of consciousness, and I'll talk about how it can go to a very, very different and very extreme level also. so so I think the starting point is the natural instinctive way to react to this kind of thing. The natural and instinctive way to react to a bug in the house is to kill it. You see a cockroach, boom, stamp on it. You see a spider, stamp on it. You just kill it. That's it, and that's the end of the problem. But it's end of that physical problem. But at a consciousness level, this bug, this life form is you in another form. You as in not Sonal and Sanjiv, but you in divine. You are showing up in my house as a bug, and you are saying, I'm just going to kill you. Now, when you become aware of this, now, so then you need to find other options. I have found, there's a way to catch a bug without hurting it. I don't know if you all know this technique, but I learned this in America. Is you use a plastic cup and a small piece of cardboard. So if you find a cockroach or a bug or whatever, you just put the cup on top of it. Okay. Then you slide the cardboard, the stiff paper or cardboard underneath the cup like this. So then the bug is inside the cup, between the cardboard and the cup. And then you take these two things and you just let it go outside. That's the end of it. So so we actually, so I've done this hundreds of times with bugs in the house. I just cup on top, slide a cardboard, take the whole thing and leave it outside. That's it. Why you're not going to, so you added one more bug to the outside, so what? But you're safe and you're hygienically okay, and you've not killed a life form unnecessarily. It was not necessary to kill it. So there are much less, same thing with mosquitoes. I mean, if a mosquito lands on you, the natural instinct is to just do this, but the other way is to just go and it just flies away. So there are other ways. So we ended up with, there was one mouse or a rat, I'm not sure, small rat which was in our house and was creating havoc in the house for many days. And so I said, now so the security guy and our Raghu and all, they were said, okay, now we have to get rid of this rat, somehow we have to catch it. So again we were faced with a similar dilemma. Do we poison this rat? Do we hit it with a stick and kill it or whatever? And I said, why don't we apply the same glass and cardboard technique to the rat also? Why not? So of course the rat is much bigger than what you can put in a cup. So the rat was running around and I got the idea, why don't we use a bucket? So we took a plastic bucket and he was running around. We just put the bucket on top and the rat was underneath inside the bucket. Then we slid one chaddar under it. Under the bucket, you slide one chaddar and then you hold and close the chaddar on top of the bucket and the rat is inside, very safe and happy. So once we had that rat inside, we just went out and let it out, outside in the, on the other side of the tracks, on the railway track. And that was the end of that. So that is at a slight level, or a not higher, but more closer to oneness. To bring that to this is one level of how to bring that to this. There's a story of a Jain monk who was crossing a river, and actually no, they were passing by a river, and he and one of his disciples, they were walking along, and they saw one scorpion was in the water, struggling to come out, and would have drowned if they didn't do anything. So this monk just reached out to save the scorpion, and the scorpion bit him, and he had to let go of it because the pain was too much. Then again he reached in, tried to get it, and again bit him. And this went on for 3 or 4 times. He got bitten 3 or 4 times. And the disciple who was watching the whole thing said, Guruji, he's only going to bite you again and again. Why don't you forget about it? Let's go. Let's move on. And he says, if this small creature, even in the moment of death, facing death, it is about to drown and die, even in that moment of death, it does not abandon its nature, which is to bite. Its nature is to bite. So even in a moment of death, it does not abandon its true nature. Then how can I abandon my true nature, which is to save it? And saying that, he finally managed to stay out of the way of the bite and the scorpion. The point is, do we want to live our life according to our true nature, or do we want to just blunder through life with eyes closed, ear closed, blundering through life, or live life consciously? So this is yet another level, how to bring that to this. So when you see the scorpion dying, the thought is not, how am I going to save myself? That is the first thought. Little bit closer to thought. How can I save myself and yet not harm this other creature? Second level thought. Third level thought. How can I help this creature which is trying to survive, also just like me? How can I help this creature? And there is even a higher level of thought, which is mm, um, about this book some time ago that I read by this person named Om Swami. It's called If Truth Be Told. So this is one book which, if you all have not read it, please immediately procure and read. It's a wonderful, wonderful modern story. Not a story, actually, the true journey of this person, an amazing, amazing story of a transformation and and love. And yeah, this is it. If you're good job. If Truth Be Told, did you start reading it? Okay, I told you to read it immediately, if
I
not
read
sooner.
it.
Read it immediately, if not sooner. Yeah, you have read it, Jennifer ji. Yeah, good. So he talks about this, his quest for knowledge, his quest for truth. And one of the things he decides to take on is to meditate in this cave in the Himalayas until he just gets a sakshatkar darshan of Devi. He says, I'm not going to budge from this spot until I just get it. I don't want anything else in this world. There's nothing which is worth anything. What good is it if I continue to eat and sleep and walk? And what good is it if I don't have this? I don't want to leave this planet, this life, this world without having experienced divine directly with my eyes and ears and hands. I want a direct darshan. So this one cave that he found where he could spend the winter, he was going to be completely isolated in the middle of the winter in the Himalayas among the snow and whatever. And there was only one problem with the cave. Well, there were many problems with the cave, but one of the problems was it was infested with scorpions. Infested. One, not two, just crawling with scorpions, because there no human being has ever lived there, stayed there. But this is what he wants to do. So this is now a higher level of how to bring that to this, that what he practiced, that this was scorpion full of, I mean a cave full of scorpions. That is the this that I'm presented with. How do I bring that to this? So he simply made a emotional, spiritual, soul, mental, whatever pact, an agreement with the scorpion, with the scorpions. It was not just scorpions, I think there were rats also and scorpions and whatnot. And he said, I'm not here to harm you. I love you. And I know you don't want to harm me either. And that's it. He made that one declaration to himself. And then he lived in that cave for 6 months. And he said, scorpions, they were just, he would sit still in meditation for hours together. And those scorpions are just, hanging around. Well, like they're climbing on a rock, they're climbing on him, and they're climbing off him, and they're going here and going there. And he's still meditating. Point is, he never got bitten even once. So we are talking about small hygiene problems like cockroach or ant or something. Here you are talking about dangerous, meaning venomous, dangerous, life-threatening poison scorpions. And yet the instinct was not, let me kill them. Not the second thought, let me remove them from here safely without harming them. It was not the third level thought, how do I help them? It was the highest level thought, I am love. This scorpion is also made of love. And knowing that, living that, then you're completely okay with even in a cave full of scorpions. So see where, what level we are operating from. And depending on your level of awareness and your level of getting in touch with who you really are, this will happen automatically. This will happen on its own, because the you that you truly are only loves. Survival and life and this experience called life are byproducts of love. It is not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is not to survive. The purpose of life is not simply to just exist. The purpose of life is to love. And that is your true purpose. So if your true purpose in life is to love, then how can you bring yourself to swat a fly? How can you bring yourself to stamp a cockroach? How can you do it? You can't do it. Because you know who you are. And what life is and what this reality is. It's all play of consciousness. So again, it happens automatically and naturally. So first of all, I'm not trying to say that you're a bad and wrong person if you have been killing cockroaches. Okay. This is what the norm is. This is what people do. This is okay. This is how we have been brought up. This is how our instinctive nature is. The small I that you are, that your body and mind are made of, naturally operates at that level. It's okay. I'm not here to blame you or say that's, oh, it's terrible. No, it's okay. It's what it is. This is great. While they're asleep. So you're asleep. And just because you're asleep doesn't mean it is wrong or bad. Or you're just asleep. And all I'm saying is wake up. Wake up to the you that you truly are. And when you wake up to the you that you truly are, the answers and the solutions will flow automatically, naturally. You will naturally find the solutions. You will naturally find the answers. And even from a practical point of view, are we aware of the contribution and importance of all these living creatures that are there on this planet? We have no clue, yaar. We are complete novice and buddhu when it comes to how important everything is in this chain called life. Each and every leaf, each and every plant, each and every bug, every bacteria, each and every creature has a role to play, which you and I don't understand at an intellectual level. But understand that they have a role to play. And if you understand that they have a role to play, then the natural reaction is gratitude. I'm grateful to all this, It is because there are mosquitoes, so bees and bees, it's because there are bees, there are flowers, there are fruits, and because there are fruits, there are crops, and because there are crops, you and I can live. But forgetting that connection, you see a bee and you want to kill it. So it is not only discompassionate and inconsistent with our true reality, it is also very stupid. There is actually a bee crisis. Yeah, out of fear, you're right. So in the US and all over the world, there's a crisis, and scientists have done these calculations, and they've said that if bees disappear from the earth, human beings cannot survive for more than a few years, if that. Just one species called bees. If that goes away, everything else remains. Bees go away, finished. The whole thing will fall apart. And it's just about every single thing. This whole life, it's all one organism in a way, because it all comes from consciousness. It is all consciousness in different forms, and no part of it is complete. The wholeness of it all disappears when even one part is hurt. So even if we forget about compassion and oneness and all that, I'm saying from a biology point of view, from a science point of view, it is stupidity to not be grateful to all the life that there is and all creatures and water and the earth and every element. My goodness. What magic, what love, what power, what truth, what beauty. Do you know that you mix all the colors? If you just keep mixing colors, you get one muddy brown, right? If you ever tried that, if you take a bunch of kids' tubes, color tubes, and just mix, you'll get brown at the end. And we say brown, yeah, brown. This earth is brown, this mud is brown, brown. And we disregard it and call it a, but that brown contains each and every color that exists. It's beauty itself. So we are not able to see all this. That is where. So yeah, the thing about fear, what you said, yeah, what is, yeah, fear is also a forgetting. Fear is nothing but forgetting who you are. What does fear come from? Fear is ultimately fear of death. You are, there is no death. Death doesn't exist for who you are. It exists for the physical body. Once you know this, what are we afraid of? So we can drop that fear also. Yes, it doesn't mean you be unmindful of safety or the well being of this physical body, but not out of fear, out of love. I love my body. I love to take care of it. I want to take care of it. I don't want harm to come to it. That's why I don't go and put myself in front of a truck or a snake, but not out of fear. You understand the difference? So when you see a cockroach, the the instinctive response is fear, but give yourself a moment that what am I afraid of at the end? There is no fear. There is no need for fear. Then you can lovingly put a cup on top, slide a cardboard, pick it up and put it outside.
Sanjivji, Sonal has asked another question.
Okay.
Does it mean honeycomb not to removed and allow?
Uh, yeah, possibly. I mean, the specific answer, see, you have to see for yourself. If it's a, if there is a way you can find to transport it without killing it, without taking that colony somewhere intact and putting it in a natural place somewhere, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, if it is not harming you in any way, they are just doing their thing. Unless you are going to go and hit it or try to smoke it out, they are not going to try and harm you in any way. How does it matter? Let it be. So the answer is not, there's not a single one answer and a one process or one formula. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. It's not like that. What we want to understand is the general overarching principle, the knowledge about it, the understanding of it, the consciousness aspect of it, the love aspect of it. And once you do that, whatever the response that comes out of that love is the correct answer, is the correct response. It comes down to that insta meditation Brahma Vakya. How to bring that to this. If you, I'm sure you can find ways. Connect people who are experts in this area of bees. Instead of just blindly killing it, destroying it. Today with internet and whatnot, there's so much access to so many people. Find out what is the right way to do it. What is an easy way to do it? What is a safe way to do it? What is a loving way to do it? So these things take time, they take effort. What else are we here for if we are not going to give time and effort to expressing who we really are? We don't have to just go for the shortcuts. Great, wonderful. So great. I wanted to talk a little more about insta meditation, but of course it's connected. This is all beautiful. So uh, Great. We'll continue that next time. But keep applying this. Keep bringing this. How to bring this?
Sir, I'm
It is
surrounded.
available. Yeah.
Sir, I'm surrounded by nature all the while. So every day animals are there whom we encounter, say squirrels, eagles. So
Wonderful.
every time they come and attack you. Now suppose I go on my terrace, I have eagles around. So if you go and you are doing your job, they come and attack you. So then what do you do about it? You,
I don't know.
I usually do it. I just say thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me.
Yeah.
Manojji's question.
That correct.
I
Correct.
do that. But it is
And
dangerous.
life is dangerous, Sonal. To
Yeah,
live
that's
is to
what I have snakes around, even leopards come in. So that's why
correct. Correct.
the area which I'm living
No.
in is animal kingdom. I say hello to them every day.
Inner conversation about them, about fear, or is so shift your inner conversation. The outer conversation may not change in any physical way, it is likely to change. So when you see the eagles, really do you feel the I love you when you say not just the four mantras as a by rote, but I love you, oh my goodness, I love you, I love you, I love you. Do you really feel that love for the eagles, for the leopards, for the all the birds or
Out of
snakes? Out of,
fear.
I know you are just repeat. If you repeat the mantra out of fear, it's not going to do anything. there's no, there's nothing in the words that does anything. It's not the words. It's the feeling behind it. It's your thoughts behind it. It's how are you bringing that which is love to this. Then it will shift. Not by just saying the words. Saying the mantra 1,000 times will not do anything. But when you say I'm sorry on behalf of my fellow human beings, I'm sorry for the damage that we have done to this planet, to this forest, to your livelihood, to your habitat. I'm sorry. You may be finding it harder and harder to lay eggs and find a safe spot for your chicks. To the eagles, I'm sorry. Really knowing that. Thank you for what you do on this earth. And please forgive me for all these things that we have done on behalf of everyone and myself. And I love you. Let that emerge from the heart, not from the mouth. And you will find that when that does happen, you will find a shift. You are blessed to be surrounded by wildlife. You are very blessed. Do you see it as a blessing or a curse? That's the turning point. That's the shift. Turning point. Great. May all beings be happy. May all beings find love, truth, joy, happiness. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being open to the possibility of living life as that. Thank you. Hari
चलो
Om
ना
Tat Sat.
अरे
Hari Om Tat Sat.
चलो